Hello and welcome to the first part of the series, Programming from the Perspective of a High Schooler. So basically this is the first episode, and what we're going to do today is basically just learn the basics of C++ and how to print or how to write output or how to output hello or hello world, right? Okay, so let's start. So first of all, we're going to use this app called Dev C++. So it's free. It can be found by searching Google, and I'll just leave the link to download in the description and blah blah. Okay. So basically, Dev C++, what it does is basically whatever we write here, whatever code that we write here, it compiles it and then it executes it. When we click execute, there is a command here, compile and run, right? Okay, so let me try writing a code first, and then I will explain one by one the meaning of each line or each word perhaps. But first, let me show you what Dev C++ does, okay? So this, and then we have hello. Okay, to make it simple, let's just write hello, and then there. Okay, and then we click execute, the execute tab, then compile and run command. It compiles the code that I just wrote, and then it will run it. Okay, as you can see, the output hello. Okay, so now I'm going to explain to you one by one what all of this means. So first off is from the first line, sharp include or hashtag, whatever hashtag or sharp that. Then what do we include? What do we want to include? From the word itself, what do we want to include? So we want to include this header file called iostream. So what is iostream? So iostream stands for, so I'll just write it. So this double slash here is called the comment. So whatever I write in there, on the right side of that, will be a comment. It will not be part of the code that to be compiled, okay? It's just for the programmer, no? And their colleagues, okay? So input, output, stream. Input, output, stream. So that is the meaning of iostream. So I stands for input, O stands for output, then you have stream. So what does iostream does? So basically, iostream is a header file, and it contains specific functions. For example, we have the cout earlier. Remember this? Then basically, it has all these functions that we need to input and output different things like numbers or words, characters, whatever we want to input or output. Because, okay, we do this because there are no predefined functions that come with C. So we need to get the header file iostream from the C++ standard library so that we can use these functions like the input-output functions, okay? So this is the function of sharp include iostream. So as we progress throughout this series, we're going to use more header files like math.h, which includes math functions, or graphics.h, which includes graphical functions or other functions, okay? Other header files rather. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to write is the int main function. So basically, int main function, so when we say int, first int means integer. So integer is a number that has no what, wait, integer is any number that like -1, -2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. It has no decimal value, or if it does, it's just 0, okay? So it's plain. Or example, okay, int refers to numbers such as 0, -1, 2, whatever. It can be negative or positive. So we're telling the compiler, we're telling dev C++ that this function, this main function, okay, so basically main is the name of the function. We're telling dev C++ that the output of this function will be an integer, okay? That is the function of the return 0 that I wrote earlier, okay? So I will go back to that later. Now let me write the next part. So we have int argc. So as you can see, it is already being suggested by the dev C++. So basically, int argc and char asterisk asterisk argv are basically the parameters of the function. So when we say parameters, these are the things that the function needs so that it knows what to do, okay, or where to do, or what variable will the function perform on, or whatever. This int argc and char asterisk asterisk argv is used to so that the function would work, okay? I cannot explain it more deep because even I cannot express the meaning of those two parameters very clear. Because normally, I would write int main, okay? Normally, this would be int main, no? It would work like that. It would work like that on normal computers, that is. But my computer is not normal, so I have to write int argc and then char argv, okay? Now, next is the brace, the opening brace. So, brace. Is that a brace? Yes, it is a brace. Okay, so, okay, let me tell you this. In C++ or C, you can write the brace here or you can write it here. It doesn't change anything, okay? It wouldn't change anything. It wouldn't affect the code. It wouldn't affect the output. It wouldn't affect the input. But what it would affect, is the amount of lines that your codes have. Of course, if you place the brace here, the opening brace here, then you'll get one less line. So, for readability, of course, you want more lines so that the different lines would be clear, no? You don't want to put like 100 lines of code consecutively together, right? That would be hard to read. Of course, you will group it, and it's just a habit of mine to place the opening brace here and then there. Okay, let's just enter, and then let's put return 0 there. So basically, return 0 is what we're telling the function to return 0. Okay? After the code in this function has been completed, so basically this function will return 0. Okay? This semicolon is used to say to the compiler or the dev C++ that you have ended the line. Of course, the compiler would error if there is no semicolon. C++ is very strict, and including C and C++ are very strict when it comes to semicolons. You forget one semicolon, the code wouldn't run, okay? So it's important to remember that for every line that you have, you put a semicolon, okay? Except for these kinds of lines, no? Where you put a brace. Okay, now next. So firstly, we're just going to write hello. We're going to output hello, no? So we need std. So why do we need std? So again, iostream is a header file that is found on what library? The standard library. So std stands for standard library. std stands for standard, and we're telling dev C++ that the function cout, this is pronounced as cout, this is not pronounced as sout or whatever, it's pronounced as cout. Okay? We're telling the dev C++ that this cout function can be found in the standard library where iostream is found. Okay? Because we're using std because the dev C++ does not know where to find the cout function. Okay? Of course, we're telling him to look it up on this standard library. Okay, and then next is we have two. This is less than symbols. These are less than symbols. Two of that. And then we have. Okay, why are we using this double quotation mark? So basically, we use double quotation marks when we want to output or perhaps input strings. So what are strings? So basically strings are a set of characters. A set of characters. String is a set of characters, perhaps. Okay, so it can be 1, 2, 3, or something like that. No? And then again, semicolon. If we run this, execute, click on the execute tab, and then click on compile and run, this should output as 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can see 1, 2, 3. You can see, or can you not see? Oh, I see. Okay, so there. Now, what if we remove std? So what if we remove that? No. Okay, it did not work. It didn't work, no. And how can we see the errors? Tools, Windows, Tools, View, Toolbars, file and run. Wait, let me just check if I can see the error. What error did I make or what? Okay, so I cannot find. I will check later how to find that. So an alternative to this is using std. Writing using std cout. Okay. So basically, when we write that outside the int main function above it, we're telling dev C++ that whenever we use cout, we're referring to cout as a part of the std standard library, that cout can be found there, no? For any cout that I will use. So basically, I don't need to put std anymore for any of this, no? So if, for example, I do that and then execute, compile, and run, so it would work. Okay, now the next part. Okay, so now we know how to write outputs, strings. We know how to output strings. Okay, so basically these are strings, meaning, if, for example, if we add these two strings, it would not be 6 hello. It would be 1, 2, 3 hello. It's exactly like this. Okay, the output would be exactly like that. Ngayon, or I mean now, you may ask me, okay, why is 1, 2, 3 and hello on the same line, despite being part of different cout functions, no? Cout statements. It's because that is how C++ works. Okay? That is how this programming language works. So, in order to write hello in another line, we can use two things. Okay? For C++, two things. And C, only one. So, the method that we can use, method 1, that is available for both C and C++, is using an escape sequence called \n. So backslash is this backward slash. Okay, so that is why we call it backslash. So we're just going to call it backslash. Okay, okay, backslash n, meaning after diba, string 1 space 2 space 3. Then we have this backslash n. So what does backslash n mean? So backslash n means at this exact point on the output, a new line will be inserted, or the next whatever the next output will be outputted in a new line. Okay, so if we execute this, compile and run, we will see hello in the second line and not the first line anymore. Okay, you see. Okay, there. Ngayon, or I mean now, there is also the second method, is using the endl. The endl is a manipulator that inserts a new line and flushes the output buffers before it, no? So we will explain that later, but for now we know that endl is like endl is like backslash n. It will insert a new line and the hello will be written in the second line. Okay, now this is the question. Will endl work? No? Will endl work? Well, I mean, that is a silly question to ask to the people watching this because I am the one uh, perhaps teaching, but still, of course, let's try it first. Compile and run. It would not work. Okay, the error is in here and L. So why didn't it work? No. So again, endl is part of the IOStream header file. Endl can be found on the IOStream header file, and endl meaning it can be found on the IOStream header file. It means that endl must be found in the standard library because IOStream is part of the standard library. So like cout, okay, we need to put std there. So if we compile and run this, it would work. Okay. There, you see. We can also use this. We can also do what we did to std cout, or we can write is using std colon endl semicolon. This would work also. Okay. Execute, compile and run. Okay, there. Now, here's the question. Can we merge this into a single statement? Of course we can. No? We can write using namespace std. So namespace meaning these functions are defined in the namespace standard std or from the standard library. So this would work, but okay, there's a but. After we compile and run, I will explain the but. Okay, compile and run. Of course, this would work also. Okay, there. Now, what is the but? So, what if we name one of our variables? What if the name of one of our variables the same as one of the functions found in the standard library? Well, of course, there would be errors, lots of errors. Okay, but if we're just planning to write hello world like this, well, I guess it would be okay to use using namespace std, right? Because we wouldn't have any variables. I mean, in this function, we have no user-defined variables. So if we compile and run this, it would be fine, no? So hello world, okay? So for now, let's stick with using namespace std. Then if we're using variables, then let's change to std cout, std endl, okay? Okay, now we have \n and the endl. Perhaps this is where I conclude the first part of the series programming from the perspective of a high schooler, okay? Because basically what we just want to know here is, in a basic hello world code, what are the parts of the code, okay? And what do we need, okay? And then after this printf statement, okay, the return 0, meaning after these statements have been done, then the output will return 0. That's why if we execute and then compile and run, you'll see here, okay, you'll see this process exited after 0.1169 seconds with return value 0. Okay, if one of these statements were faulty, for example, if we forget execute, compile, and run, if we forget the semicolon, well, the return status is not 0 but 1, okay? So if you see return return 1 is returned, if you see that 1 is returned and you wrote return 0, then it means that there is an error in your code, okay? So for now, that's where this video will end, and please look forward to the next part of the series, and thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.